Hello everyone, this is Suneve and I'm coming to you with You'll Learn to Love Me, a Yandere Masky X Reader by FluffyWubs. We're going to be starting off with chapter 39. And done! Look, Helen! Cece holds her paper up in Helen's direction. Helen eyes the paper, expressionless before responding. Nice job, in a curt manner. Cece was completely oblivious of Helen's blank personality, but accepted his response as a compliment nonetheless. I've been doing nothing too interesting in here, and Lou left right after I shut him out, and all I've been doing since then is hanging out with Cece and Helen. I can't help but feel a bit bad. I regret how cold I acted towards Lou. It was just in the heat of the moment with all the thoughts dropping onto me at once, you know? I mean, how am I supposed to act after I found out about all of these horrible things? It shouldn't come as a surprise to me, yet it does. One can even say I'm oblivious as can be at this point. Why, Ian, you haven't eaten anything yet. The sound of Helen's emotionless voice pulls me right out of my thoughts, making me snap my head towards his direction. You should eat something, he finished, bending down to grab a container from the usual plastic white bag he brings. As if right on cue, my stomach audibly rumbles, recreating the sound of a dying whale. Cece snickers, placing her tiny hand over her mouth to stifle her giggles, and my cheeks flare up a bit in embarrassment. Why do stomachs have to be so loud in silent places? Yeah, now that you mention it, I smile sheepishly as Helen is already in the process of opening a container. He places the container in my lap along with the plastic fork. And to my surprise, I am greeted with a container full of ramen. Half of an egg was on top of the noodles along with a few pieces of meat. And it reminds me of how much I was craving for something like this. I started chomping down, practically forgetting to thank Helen. Slow down now. Masky would cut off my pay if he found out you got a stomachache or something, Helen states. I slurp the one noodle that was stuck in between my lips before chewing, swallowing the food, and I frown. It makes me feel bad that Helen is probably here against his will. He's been paid by Masky, of course, and he doesn't give two shits about me unless he's paid. It's his job to watch over me, and if he wasn't being paid, he would be probably gone by now. I mean, it's not like I should care about Helen anyway, but I will admit that I enjoy his company a lot more than I should. Even though he seems so cold, empty, and dull, it's still nice to have him around. Is it good? Cece asks curiously, eyeing the insides of the container. I quickly replace my frown with a smile for her sake and nod. Want to try? I offer. And just as she's hesitating, Helen is already passing me an extra fork. With a slight hesitation, she nods with an unsure smile. I hand her the extra fork Helen handed me before she stabs into the container with not too much force. She stabs through a piece of meat and rolls her fork around to get some noodles onto it before sticking it in her mouth. She chews for a bit, and her expression seems unreadable for a couple of seconds. And before I even knew it, her eyes lit up in bliss. This is really good, she speaks with her cheeks stuffed full of food before she swallows and goes in for another bite. And just before she digs in again, she stops herself right before her fork touches the food. She shyly looks up at me and retracts her fork back. Sorry, I know I should ask first, so, Her cheeks become a soft rosy color as she fiddles with the handle of her plastic fork. I lightly laugh, nodding my head at the container. Feel free to eat with me, I smile. Her lips twist up into a smile before she shuffles closer and starts digging into the container as well. Sharing is caring, am I right? Turns out that I was already full after eating half the container. Since I didn't want to leave any leftovers, I offered Cece to eat the rest, which she gladly accepted. She ate every single thing inside the container, and to my surprise, for such a little girl, she sure eats like a horse. Cece decided to hang around in my room a bit more, since she had nothing to do all day. But staying in my room all day wasn't such a fun option, mainly because Cece got bored rather quickly. So she had a nice suggestion for a change. Want to go to the cafe in the back? She suddenly questions out of the blue, which caught me off guard. Cafe? I repeat questioningly. I glance over to Helen, who simply shrugs in silence, and Cece nods excitedly as she climbs off the bed. In the back, like if you walk all the way down the hall and take a right, there's some sort of cafe where visitors of patients can get food and stuff. And the best part is that people who are staying in the hospital get free food if you go there. Cece bounces on her feet excitedly. So they give the patients terrible food, but probably have some edible things down in the cafe. That's definitely logical. But hey, who cares at this point? Free food. Alright, then let's go. I swing my legs out of the bed, making Cece cheer along with some hand claps. Wanna come? I glance over my shoulder to look at Helen, who shakes his head. You two go on ahead. I'll wait here, he states. I nod as I suddenly feel Cece grab my hand and tug me with her. Come on, let's go. She tugs my hand towards the door as I grin and follow her steps. See you in a bit, Helen, I call out just before I leave my room. At first, I struggled a bit to keep up with the excited little girl. The back of my knees were stinging just a bit, probably because of the pressure I've been putting on them just by standing, but nothing too bad, thank goodness. Cece apparently knew the hospital like the back of her hand. She knows where everything precisely is and can give anyone directions to practically anything. It only makes me realize that she's been here for a very long time. Anyway, it didn't take long to reach this cafe. It was obviously not an actual cafe, more like a lounge with some tables around it and a pretty long bar full of food. You know, the types where you can serve yourself or you get served by someone behind the counter. Let's get a tray, Cece suddenly pulls me to the side, almost making me stumble over my feet. This girl is too excited for her own good. Since I wasn't too hungry because I ate half a container full of ramen just a few minutes ago, I didn't bother to get a tray. Cece, however, decided to get one and fill her plate with multiple goodies. Croissants, cookies, mini muffins, and a tiny bottle of orange juice. Since she didn't want to eat alone and practically begged me to eat something with her, I settled on a cheese and ham croissant. We found an empty table somewhere near the corner and took a seat. Cece's legs happily swung back and forth as she sat on the slightly taller chair before taking a bite out of her croissant. We chatted for a bit, mostly about Cece, of course. She loved talking about what she does when I'm not around her to entertain her, or what she usually used to do at home. I slowly nibbled on my croissant as she talked. And boom, there was glitter everywhere. She made a circle motion with her arms as if her arms were resembling an actual explosion. I laugh a bit, taking another bite of my croissant. She's cute. I wish I could spend more time with her. I'm probably leaving this place really soon, considering how I'm able to walk again. Anyways, tonight is a special night, Cece exclaims as she chomps down on one of her mini muffins. I fold my hands together and rest my chin on top of them, arching a brow. Really? How come? I ask. Cece pauses for a bit to swallow her food before speaking up. My friend and I are going to pay my daddy a visit. She states rather ecstatic. Is she going home sooner than me? That's odd. I thought she was staying a lot longer, considering she hasn't been identified yet. Or so I assume. I mean, I'm not sure if she told me why she's staying in the hospital. Even if she did tell me, I probably already forgot it. Really? You mean the friend who visits you at night? I furrow my brows. With her mouth full of goods, she nods her head, a few crumbles of muffin falling from the edges of her lips. Aren't they too young to go out at night? I mean, they probably have a guardian with them, so I shouldn't worry too much. And what are you two going to do? I ask. Cece purses her lips, looking off to the side before shrugging. I don't know. She said we were going to help him sleep, whatever that means. Cece shrugs the strange words of her friend off as she digs into her croissant after finishing the muffin. Odd, but I'm not questioning it. Well, I hope you two have fun together. I smile slightly, grabbing a hold of my croissant to nibble on it. Thank you, she giggles as she chomps on her food. As I'm half enjoying my croissant, I feel a hand on my shoulder. Enjoying your meal? I glance over my shoulder, meeting with a familiar pair of eyes. Sure am, I smile, recognizing the person to be Samantha. She grabs an extra chair and takes a seat next to me, letting out a tiresome sigh. It's tiresome going back and forth to attend people, she sighs. Like, I enjoy my job and all, but man, is it a pain. And Samantha seems to forget that Cece is also here and quickly corrects her sentence before finishing it. Apples. She sheepishly grins. Cece paid no mind and simply offered Sam one of her mini muffins. Want one? Cece offers, to which Samantha politely refuses. Cece shrugs and continues to eat her meal. Sam then turns to me with a sly yet teasing smile. So how'd it go with the cat guy? She questions. Lou? I bite my lower lip, looking down at my lap. It seems enough for Samantha to know what happened. Aw, poor souls. She shakes her head slightly. Samantha is silent for a bit before blurting out. So, he's single, right? She questions. I pause mid-bite, turning my head to look at her. Yeah, why would you ask? I question. Samantha smiles but shrugs her shoulders, playing with a lock of her hair. Wait a minute. No way, don't tell me you caught something for him. I can't help but snicker, to which her cheeks flare up. What? No, I barely know the guy. He's just... Samantha pauses. Kind of cute, she finishes. Well, hey, maybe it could work out just as I begin to open my mouth up, and Samantha cuts me off. But I know he's into you. I mean, at least from what you've told me. So there's really not a chance, is there? She chuckles a bit. I let out a pondering hum. I think there is. Who knows? I smile a bit. It's cute that she took a liking to him just by seeing him a few times, but then again, what if it does actually work out? Would Lou kill her too? And I don't want that to happen. If she wants to give it a shot, though, he's all hers. If you see him around, ask him for his number, maybe? And pass it to me if you want to, I mean. Samantha stumbles over her words nervously. I smile reassuringly, patting her shoulder. Don't worry, I got your back. I shoot her a grin. Ooh, Sam likes Lou. Sam and I almost forgot that there was a child at our table, and Cece earns a playful yet devilish grin before starting to chant her little song. Lou and Samantha sitting in a tree. K-I-S-S. Cecilia, Sam yells. Today was fun. I especially had a great time with Sam and Cece. It's almost like a sleepover, you could call it. It's sad that I won't see Sam for a while now. She would only be here until midnight or so and then clock out and leave for a break. I hope she gets the rest she needs and recollects herself for a bit. She must be exhausted mentally and physically. Helen was already gone since visiting time was long over, so now I'm alone in my bed, trying to fall asleep with a soft TV playing in the background. My eyes were fluttering shut but reopening themselves once again. It's like I was paranoid about the fact that Toby could just come in at any moment, and the Lord knows what he could do while I'm asleep. I roll over, trying to find a more comfortable spot to lay on. It was as if every single part of my body just didn't want to work with me. I grunt softly, sitting straight up and rubbing my tired eyes. I really wanted to sleep, but just couldn't. I got off my bed and stretched out my arms and legs for a bit. Maybe I can go get a cup of water outside or something. I walked towards the door and placed my hand on the handle. And just before I could turn it, I heard giggles coming from the other side of the door. Giggles that sounded like it came from two little girls. Oh, probably Cece and her friend. I carefully pushed the door open and peeked out, seeing two girls at the end of the hall walking further away from the door. They were both holding hands and both had a stuffed animal in their hands. I could recognize one of the girls, the shorter one, to be Cece, however, I didn't recognize the other one. She was tall for an apparent 8-year-old and had a teddy bear clutched in her free hand. The unknown girl had a flowing pink dress and wavy brown hair that reached down her back. I was about to call out for them, mainly Cece, but they turned a corner at the end of the hall and disappeared. I pursed my lips. Oh well, I'll talk to her tomorrow. I decided to not get that cup of water and just head to bed and sleep. My legs are killing me. I suddenly wake up to screaming. I bolt up from my bed, my heart pounding out of my chest and my eyes wide as they could get. Pure shrieks of terror coming from multiple people outside of my door. Primal screams that seem animalistic. What in the world is going on? I was about to head to my door and unlock it so I could take a look, but suddenly felt strong bangs against the wood, making me take a few steps back. Why in? We need to evacuate right now. The panicked voice of Samantha could be heard, muffled from behind the door. Evacuate, what? And just as I was about to unlock the door, I felt a strong grip on my shoulder pull me back. A gloved hand slammed onto my mouth, making panic strike through my mind. Calm down, little mouse, it's just me. I heard the familiar voice of none other than the stuttering teen, Toby. How am I supposed to calm down? People are screaming bloody murder out there, and I hear multiple footsteps rushing down the hall along with their haunting screams. Toby slowly releases my shaking body as I turn to face him. What's going on out there? I shudder, glancing over to the door. Toby is silent as more banging could be heard from coming from outside. I'm not letting you die, Wyan. Come out for the love of God, please. Her pleads were panicked and her voice sounded hoarse from the shouting, and not only that, but she sounds like she's crying. Have you made up your mind yet? You can come with me and I'll help you, doll. Toby took a step towards me, his hatchets rattling against his belt as he placed a soft hand on my shoulder. What if I don't? Hell, what if I do? What if he's not trying to save me and just wants to kill me? Is he going to try to decapitate my legs again? I don't even know what's happening out there, and Samantha, poor Samantha, I can't just leave her in a panic. My buddy is out there, and if you don't leave right now, he'll kill you. It's up to you, little mouse. That is the end of that chapter. It was a little bit short, but that is okay. The chapter after that one is chapter 40. Toby is really just causing problems, isn't he? And I wonder what buddy could possibly be causing problems this time. But, I will see you guys in the next episode, and until next time, bye-bye!